Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beyond the Hustle. Super special episode today. We live in NYC, in the heart of Chelsea, with a longtime friend. How do I describe this, man? This is the general of Triple R. This is a rapper, cultural connoisseur. I mean, the swag is unparalleled. You know the voice. You guys don't usually hear me talk like this, but when I'm in New York and I'm in the presence of my guy YL, it brings the best out of me. So without further ado, YL, welcome to the show, brother.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me here at the studio space.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to have you over.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. You know, I haven't been here in a minute, but just looking at the vibes and looking at the way you've designed your creative space already gets me hyped, brother.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
like to keep myself like just inspired everywhere I look. You know what I mean? In any
Oh, for
corner
sure.
of my room.
Oh, for sure. Well, even for me, I mean, coming to New York City, I felt like I had to tap in with you. I had to kind of, check in with what you're up to because you have always been thorough New York City, since over a decade ago. I feel like you've always kind of pushed culture. You've kept elements of New York City nostalgia alive. Through your music, through your lyrics, through your aesthetics. I mean, the impact you've made is far and few in between do it like you. So
Hey,
once again, it's good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So as you know on this show, we kind of go into the nexus of spirituality and entrepreneurship. And, who better than to talk to YL because I feel like you're constantly, surfing on those spectrums,
Right.
being a rapper, a lyricist, and of course being in New York City where, you always gotta hustle. But today I kind of want to go beyond that. I'll start off with just asking you, what's your definition of beyond the hustle?
Beyond the hustle, I feel like it's more than just like. It's more than just the grinding to grind. You know what I mean? It's like, at least for me, it's like just being like the truest, like my truest artist self. You know what I mean? Where I'm just kind of moving forward in my career, not because I feel like it's like it's a job. It's just like I feel like it's just in me. It's just what I have to do. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
This is my path, and like I think it's just like following your path and. Like the money will come.
Right.
That kind of like mentality, I guess. That's like when I think about like beyond the hustle, it's more than just like, the work is like obviously present, but it's about like it's about the journey. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And like the way that those like hardships kind of like mold you.
100%. What do you feel is your why? I'm a dive in. Obviously in the show we kind of hit different areas, but naturally I think it'll blossom into what I think is, the energy that drives you, which I hope to understand, especially for viewers. We have a lot of artists, a lot of, striving creatives. But what do you feel is your why? And of course, your name is the YL, so it's like.
I think my why is really just, I feel like as cliche as it might sound, like I feel like music is one of the only things that's ever like really come to me like so naturally in my life, and it was like one of the only things that has always made sense like as soon as I started, and it's been like an up and down journey, you know what I mean? Just especially like on the independent like level, but it's like I don't know, I've had like a bunch of like little milestone things that happen like throughout the course of my career that's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just like reaffirmation of like, okay, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just, I don't know, music, I feel like I'm being like my true self, you know what I mean? I feel like this is my way to communicate to the world and, offer something that's, I don't know, deeper than I don't know. I feel like I'm contributing to culture in a way. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, and that feels good. You know, I feel like I'm
Right.
doing my due diligence to add on to the legacy and that is like New York culture. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, and it's super prevalent. I mean, you know, for those of you who aren't already following YL, it's a cult following. I mean, some of the, you know, when you look out into that crowd, you're gonna see a lot of tastemakers in that crowd.
For
And
sure.
I find it always interesting when, you know, especially in New York, when it's like you never know who someone is.
Right.
And someone like yourself, I feel, has subtly mastered the art of bringing together the coolest, swaggiest, influential people under one roof.
For sure. Like, I think my like network, like, of people that I know are like all the different types of people, whether it be fashion or just different genres of music or actors, whatever.
Right.
Like, I feel like it's all always stemmed from just like really just me being myself. You know what I mean? Just like putting my honest work out there. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think it's just one of those things where you just put it out consistently enough, and like it's, you know, the real people pick up on real things, and I think all my relationships I feel like are like built off like a mutual respect. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like, I feel like it's like one of those things where I don't really notice like the changes in my life sometimes until like, you know, I'll go through like just like my text messages, or like I'll be texting my people and I'm just like, oh shit, like I used to just listen to this dude, you know what I'm saying, like on my phone, and now we just here chatting like about whatever, you know what I'm saying, and like
Right.
And yeah, I feel like that's like one of the biggest things I've been blessed with, like just in my career so far, is just like I've been able to move around and like see a lot of things and do a lot of things just based off like genuine interest from other people, and not necessarily I didn't have to like pay to play to do anything, you know what I mean, like which I think is like the biggest blessing, you know what I'm saying. I know a lot of people, they pay other people to do, you know, accomplish some of the things that I do just off like, you know,
Real
myself,
relationships.
off my real relationships. I think those are the things you can't really pay for, you know what I'm saying, like people just genuinely being interested in what you're doing and like, you know, excited for your next move, or, you know, yeah.
I even as you say that, I recall you've done work for a lot of big names, like even, you know, obviously me being half Taiwanese, we have a lot of Taiwanese audience. You've done stuff with Eddie Huang.
Absolutely.
And like even things where they've genuinely reached out to you based on the hard work, the due diligence of your music.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, you know what I mean? Like, these are not the things, like, I didn't set out, like for example, like, I didn't put out an album like, yo, I hope Eddie Huang sees this, or like, you know, I sees this, you know what I mean? I just do it because, like, I know it feels right for me, and like, I know, like, what I'm trying to put out into the world, and, you know, like, after you do that, it takes on a whole life of its own, and, like, I always feel like anytime I put out, like, a new project or do anything, drop a new video, it's always, like, just some random door is opening, you know what I mean? Like, and it's never, like, what I predict, you know what I mean? Like, which, I don't know, like, that's the fun part about, like, you know, doing this music shit, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it really is unpredictable, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know who's listening, and I've been like surprised so many times, like, where it's just like, you know, nothing to me seems like far-fetched anymore, you know what I mean? Like, this internet is small, dog. Like,
is there an example of like a surprising reach out?
Maybe not a direct reach out, but I did a video last year called Dry it was directed by my homie Jabari Canada, and he just did a video for Solange, and Solange hit him up like, yo, I love this video that you did for Young Y, like, that shit is ill, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, he told me that, I was like bugged out. Yeah, I was just like, people are watching, you know what I'm saying? You put something out there, it's dope, like, it's like 3 degrees to everybody now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, that's amazing.
That is like one of the ones that stuck out. That happened like earlier this year. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of ill.
It almost makes me think of like how important someone's reputation is now, and it's like how thorough you have to be constantly. Where it's like, of course you have your privacy, but when you are presenting yourself, you have to come in a certain in a certain stature and demeanor, because anyone could really see that.
Absolutely, it's literally about just keep putting your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother always tells me, he's like, now is not the time to like. It's no mistake time. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has to be a fucking chess move, and like, I've been thinking like that for the past like 2 years, and I feel like that's what's really been helping me like just elevate my game a little bit, and just aside from just like the music feeling like it's maturing, I feel like just like the strategy is becoming more like thought out, and you know, you might think that there's a whole team behind this when it's really just, you know, me and just like a couple of my closest people, you know what I'm saying? Just helping me get the vision out there, you know what I'm saying? And just like vice versa, I'll help my homies the same way, you know what I'm saying?
I like that. No mistake time.
Yeah.
Are there any other quotes, model sayings that you love, that drives you, that comes to mind? First one that comes to mind, like when you think of just something that you, maybe like a quote you live by, or recently that you've heard.
Hold on. This is chopped up, right?
Yeah, we can try.
Okay, hold on, right there. Okay, because there's something if I forget like how it goes. Like,
we can plug in, but that's fine. Just sharing your wisdom. Right now, we're in the in the why purpose area, and then we're kind of leading into the wisdom point.
Hold on.
I know you got some fire shit.
Nah, because there was this shit that like I really fucked with. That was like, my ex did like this cameo video. You know, people buy cameos from like celebrities and shit like that. Like, she got one from this dude from The Sopranos that I fuck with, and like he like gave out like, he just gave like a good motivational speech to me. It was kind of ill. Like,
that's fire. If you can share that, that'd be amazing. I just noticed the takeout and delivery. That's clean.
It turns on, dog.
Oh. That's clean though. The New York cocktail with the triple R.
Oh yeah, that was for the event we did at MA. We made like some free posters too.
So fire.
And me and Stark, we designed that.
That's a logo. We can do things with that, bro. That's a pop-up event logo. That's a pop-up logo.
Fucking god. That's lit. Oh, I know where to go. My bad. My bad.
Nah, we chilling.
Okay, hold on. You ever seen Sopranos?
Yeah.
Johnny Sack.
He made a video to you?
Yeah, like.
I understand that you are a very talented musical artist. Out there, the energy that you need for it, energy goes wherever thoughts go. You put a good thought out there, the energy that you need for it goes there. Don't ask me how, but it works. It happened for me years ago, and you know the rest of the story, right? It worked.
That's basically that, like, energy go where thoughts go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I just made me want to like change my like, just like my like mentality, and just like, it's just one of those quotes that like really kind of like, it's so simple, but it makes you like want to fucking like, it just kind of gives you like re-energized real quick. I'm like, you know what? It's really not. It's not the product. It's like my energy right now is like off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get back right. Like, I don't know.
I feel like in this game too, especially with artists, musicians, and rappers as yourself, the belief has to be so strong.
Oh yeah.
What's the difference for you between faith and belief, or are they two sides of the same coin?
I believe they're like kind of maybe like two sides of the same coin. I mean, I feel like they're both like rooted in hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Yeah, belief. I don't know. Like, belief is.
Is there? Maybe I can rephrase it. Like, is there a specific faith that drives you, or like a higher power that you feel flows through you when you channel your lyrics or your artistry? When you speak of energy and whatnot.
I think like. Maybe it sounds like a little like silly, but I feel like, you know, when I'm making my music, I feel like I'm doing like I'm living out like my life like purpose. Like I'm doing what like I was sent here to do in a strange way. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, you know, maybe I'm not like, you know, extreme like superstar status yet. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, I get messages every day. You know, of people like telling me like how the music has like, you know, reach them at like the right time in their life. And, you know, I've had people come up to me at shows telling me, you know, like, you know, you dropped this album like when my friend passed away, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really helped me get through tough times. And, you know, like I said, like the music does take like a life of its own, and like you kind of like, you can't underestimate like the healing power of it, you know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah, in that sense, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm like fulfilling like my purpose, like, and maybe I'm not like necessarily actively thinking about that while I'm making music. You know what I mean? But it's like
it's present.
It's present. Yeah, it's there. You know what I mean? It's like
that's beautiful, because even the foundational influences for this show, a big driving force is like understanding the difference or this parallel between self-actualization and enlightenment. And I feel like there are so many enlightened people who are on their path to self-actualization amongst us as we move through life. And we have these ideas that it might be you have to get to a certain point or you have to have a certain achievement, when all the while you were enlightened the whole time.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, people like yourself kind of embody that. You're doing what you love. You're channeling your passion, and everything else is just an accessory. It's like a bonus almost.
Right. 1,000%, I feel that.
How would you define, or what is your interpretation of abundance or an abundant lifestyle?
I think that's like all relative too, you know what I mean? Like I feel like, you know, if I'm able to like eat, you know, 3 good meals a day, and, you know, if that doesn't, you know, hurt my pockets, and I'm able to, you know, move freely, you know, and not necessarily think about, I do think about like finances when I think about abundance, you know, like,
right. It's tricky too, because I know it's like as a modern day artist, you're balancing art and business at the same time.
Right.
But at the same time, I would imagine you would prefer to completely always be in the studio.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? Or do you get the thrill of the business and the ambition and the goal setting and hitting and whatnot?
I mean, I think it's good to set goals and like set intentions out there. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, it's good to be engulfed in the art. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that's when like you're making your truest work. But like, I think that's just like half the battle. You know what I mean? Like, especially in today's world, in this industry today, like you have to be more than just an artist. You know what I mean? You have to be, you know, a director too. You have to be, you know, some sort of like content creator. Know how to edit videos or some shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, know how to send an email. You know what I mean? I feel like most artists don't even know how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like for many years, like people in the industry, they lean towards like they just lean on, you know, other people that represent them to kind of do things. You know what I mean? And like where I kind of came in the game and all I knew was just like kind of get it yourself. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily that I never felt like, oh, the odds are against me. You know what I mean? I just what I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned, you know, seeing like Eric make music, and then I seen he was doing that at his crib. I bought Pro Tools and started doing it myself too. You know what I mean? It's just like I was just looking at what was around me. You know what I mean? And
that's fire.
Yeah, and I kind of prefer being like a hands-on dude like that. You know what I mean? I feel like it teaches me how to do a little bit of everything. I feel like I'm not like some useless dude. You know what I'm saying?
You're
like
super action
what I
biased.
do for myself, I could do this for other people if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, and I do help out the my close homies that when they're putting out their projects and shit. I like to help them out as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like, but
I think that's what definitely impresses myself. And I think even for your fan base, people who are not familiar with your body of work, they're going to just see a prolific amount of work, of projects, of art. And I think to me, that's so interesting is that action biased nature that you have. Where do you think that comes from? Is there an influence, a mentor, a character in your life that you felt like really instilled that action bias?
Maybe I don't think it's just like one person. I mean, I think of like Lil Wayne, like how he was kind of going crazy, and at one point we're just like he was on everything. He's doing every feature. He's putting out mixtapes all year. You know what I'm saying? He's like doing the work for the label, or like out of his. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's just him. He's the artist. He's just getting out. I don't know, whatever he felt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it's just that, and then just like most of my career I've done things just like independently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm already on like I don't look for someone to help me. Like naturally I'm always thinking of like, all right, how can we I want to be on Fader. How can we get to Fader? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you always reverse engineering.
Exactly. That's like something my brother taught me, you know what I mean? Like
shout out Derek Balavezo.
Shout out to bro.
Super talented photographer, creative director.
Absolutely.
Right.
Big part of my operation, and cinematographer, a little bit everything.
Yeah.
He's one of those ones. But yeah.
That's fire. I was gonna say, what skills would you wanted to have learned earlier, and which ones do you want to learn now that you haven't yet?
I wish I learned earlier to like maybe just be more, I don't know, being less fearful of reaching out to people, you know what I'm saying? And not wanting to, like, trying not to, I feel like we all want things to happen how we want them to happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we want to just wake up and, Jay-Z, not Jay-Z maybe, but, one of our favorite rappers hit us up and that's how we started working, and you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it takes a little, like,
that fearlessness you mentioned before.
You fuck with something, let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've gotten collaborations with people and artists that I fuck with just by like letting them know that, I actually genuinely rock with your music, and just not you could wait forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe you just want to sit down with like, I don't know, someone who wants to be a manager or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, don't be waiting around. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get so much done just by sending that message through. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like,
it's almost like everyone's looking. Everyone is in the same boat almost.
Yeah.
Like, everyone needs help, needs work, needs assistance somewhere. And when you have found your groove, your niche, it just makes it that much more evident that when you sense something, you just have to go for it.
Absolutely.
Do you think intuition is involved with that? And what's your relationship with intuition? Or what do you think that is?
Well, I feel like I spent like a lot of like my musical career kind of like just being very intuitive as far as just, like moving with the feeling. You know what I mean? And just like, really committing to that first feeling that you get, you know what I'm saying? And like, not like talking yourself out of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that first feeling you get is usually like, that's what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've had like just good successes, like doing things like that where, like, I'll just think of like, I don't know, like, I think one of the coolest thing I did was just, like, make, like, I woke up one day, I was like, I just needed, like, I wanted to make a little bit of bread, and I was like, I got all this music. I was like, let me put out, like, a little 24-hour, like, album. You know what I'm saying? It's only available for 24 hours on my Bandcamp. You can only get it through there today until 12. And then, I don't know, it just felt like a good idea. And then it was like,
wow.
That day, like, I made a lot of bread. You know what I'm saying? And also just, like, people were now, like, looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, shit, like, yo, when's the next
24-hour
exactly,
drop? So it's like you created a new concept almost.
Kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, like, I try not to, like, second guess myself as much anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I know what I really want to do, and it's nothing's gonna happen if it just stays in my head. You know, like you could have a million good ideas, but what good is that? You know what I mean? If you're not actually like putting it to practice or.
100%. What do you consider is arts? What do you define as arts?
I think anything that's like a real like honest expression of somebody, like it's very. I feel like it's funny. Like now, anything could really be art. You know what I mean? Like I went to where was it? I think it was at like the MoMA, and they had like, it was just like a white T-shirt like hammered onto the wall or some shit. No, it was like, and they put the little description next to it, and I was like, I guess you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's all. If it's all like, if you say it's art, then it's art. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it shouldn't be. Art's like a thing that's open to interpretation. It always has been. You know what I mean? Like there's no like singular definition to it.
For you, what kind of art, concept, music? What gets you in the zone? What gets you hyped?
Like what medium of art?
Right.
I mean, obviously music. You know what I'm saying? Music, like hearing like a good, you know, soul record or something like that. It always gets the gears turning. Even just like I like going to like gallery hopping, things like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We over here in Chelsea, so I just like, you know, on a Thursday or something, pop around.
That's fire.
It's good. You know what I mean? It gets the ideas going, even if it's like either like, you know, inspiration for like a cover art you get, or like maybe like the name of an art piece or like a certain word, you know what I mean? So I don't know, like I like to write things down when I'm in places like that, you know
That's
what I mean?
fire.
Like yeah.
That's lit. When did you first discover that your energy could transform this reality? Your energy, your intention, and even your artwork, your music, your lyrics.
I would say like probably that first time that I went to Japan when you pulled up with us, bro. Like to me that was like,
don't know, we got some trips on our belt.
Come on, we travelers, world travelers. I think that to me was like one of the probably the first real eye opener, because before that I hadn't really had like, everything I did was like very much I just put things on the internet. I still do put things on the internet, but like, you know, I do shows now more actively. But like back then I really wasn't doing any shows, and you know, I had just started really publicly like putting out music that I was like actually proud of, you know what I mean? Like and then just going to Japan and seeing like that we were able to pack up a venue, you know what I mean, with people that are like, you know, they're dressed like us and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
That was crazy.
Like, rocking the New York Fitters and, you know, whatever, and you could tell that, like, you know, maybe they don't even understand a word I'm saying. Maybe some of them do, because they'll translate it, you know what I mean, for themselves, but like, you know, it was strictly just like an energy thing, and like these people have had their own experiences with my music, you know what I'm saying, that has nothing to do with me actually being there, you know what I mean, and it just felt like, wow, like, I made a lot of this shit in my room,
wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's wild. I see what you mean.
It's different, and then like, you know,
it's like face to face with the ripples of your creations and your imagination.
Yeah, it's like
living people, living humans are dressing like you, their lives have been changed.
It was like an alternate like reality for real, you know what I mean? But it was dope. And then going back the second time this past last summer was just like, that was just like, all right, nail in the coffin. Like I don't think I could quit, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if I ever had thoughts, it's like it went out the window. I was like, these you know, like I mean something to like. I mean something to some people. You know what I mean?
It's
that,
on
like,
your back.
I can't really.
Yeah, it's the culture's on your back.
Yeah, and I feel like a responsibility and just like, you know, that's like that brings me the most joy. You know what I'm saying? Like I love seeing.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just people living life with my albums and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's beautiful. Before we sign off, if you could say something, one thing or a message to your past self and then also your future self, what would those messages be?
I think past self, I would just say, you know, like, be fearless because you're gonna get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that you want the approval from, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? And to just keep your head down and just keep working like you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe to my future self.
Matter of fact, let me switch that. What do you think your future self would tell you now?
My future self. I would say probably like, don't worry about spending that money. You're gonna get it back later down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's fire. Future
yeah.
self, like, it's all worth it, brother.
It's all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your heart in the right place. You know what I mean?
100%. And I do have one last question before we sign off. As you know, man, New York is very snappy. So he's headed to a studio session right after this, recording with some big boys. YOLO or Yala? You only live once or you always live again?
Ooh, that's fire. I never heard that before. I kind of fuck with Yala. That's hard. I never heard that before.
That's lit.
You always live again. I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's never really over. You know what I'm saying? Like, once we're gone, there's gonna, you know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
Our essence will be out here still. You know what I'm saying?
Especially
Whatever
your
we
music.
do. Absolutely, bro.
Dylan. YL. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
For everybody tuning in, we'll put in all the links, the gram, SoundCloud links, so you guys can tap into some of the great stuff he's doing.
Shouts to Beyond the Hustle. Getting busy.
Yes, sir.
NYC.
We'll see you next time, y'all. Peace.